If there's something under there, it will be paid attention to. Just like that. Morning everybody, Mike from FisherMN here. Great to see you again this morning. I guess I can say it's better to be safe than stylish. Got the backup life jacket on. If you watch my videos, I always wear an automatic deployed life jacket, and that one exploded the other day. So in the process of getting that one rearmed, but you know what? Still got to be safe on the water. This week is the first week of August, and I just got back from a family trip to Indiana. So back at it fishing, just happy to get out this week. As usual, gonna go out on the lake, use all our rods, see what we can catch, hoping for some big bass. Let's go fishing. Good morning everybody. Ready to go here. Starting out with the buzz bait. Looking for that shallow bite. Kind of covering ground quick, so using a buzz bait. Once I get to a more confident area, I'll put on a frog and work it a little slower. But these are just some areas I like to check. Great to be out again. Just got back last night actually from a trip to Indiana to visit some family friends. Wonderful trip. I feel like I haven't been fishing in a long time, but truthfully it's only been about 5 days. Buzzbait is nice because it might catch us some of these cruising fish that are kind of in this middle range here, 3.3 feet. All right, first 10 minutes, buzzbait was not the ticket. Let's see if the frog can get us on the board here. So we already came from the landing around this shore. Gonna run down these reeds, see if we can pick one up. If not, we'll come back out at a little bit further out depth and use a chatterbait. There's got to be something right off this point here, right? Let's give it a shot. Of course there is, right? How could there not be something right off that point? Looks like a pretty good one. All right. Oh, it's a small medium guy here, but a good start. Gotta fish those points of the reeds. I don't know what it is, but that's where the fish seem to hang out. There we go. We got 15.25 inches. Another sunrise bass. So our first clue as to where they could be, because we caught one shallow. So there's at least one fish shallow in this lake. Guessing there's a few more somewhere. Just gotta find them. Another reed point here. All right, chatterbait coming up. Try black and blue, try white, see what works. Coming back through some of the same areas, just out a little bit. There's a fish. It's like a bass. See a slinger in her? We'll sling them in. With the thunder cricket. I will say that these higher end chatterbaits, thunder cricket, slobber knocker, the jackhammer, they all have such nice hooks on them. It's easy to get a good hook set. 14 3/4, so a little shorter than the last one. All right, second bass of the day. There's our ugly chatterbait setup. Thunder cricket, black and blue, like a kind of swim bait body on it. One thing about switching with the chatterbait from my spinning rod is that I gotta retrieve it a little bit slower, because every crank of the handle on this reel is pulling it a little faster. So just kind of reminding myself to slow down a bit. There's a fish. All right. There's a better one. All right, maybe figuring something out. They're just off of where I usually get them on a frog. So we shall use our chatterbait. I'm sorry, thunder cricket. There's a nice fish. All right. That's what we're looking for. Get the board wet. Let's see. 18 1/2. Good fish. All right. That's what we're looking for today. All right, our third fish, our second in pretty short order, is thrown up towards shore, and it's pretty clear where I'm at. But I started ticking weeds, so I'm kind of creeping up there, because I think right on that edge of the weeds is where they're kind of sitting right now. So now I got to get back on my line. There we go, there's some weeds. And something I know about this lake is when you find fish, stay on that pattern, because they can shut down and hide. So we're gonna stick with this for a little bit, see if we can pick up a couple more fish. There it is. Right in front of me. Oh, darn it. There we go. Interesting. Go through there with the frog. Not much going on. And now a little bit later in the morning, finding a couple of bass. All right. Another one of those, probably 14 inchers. It's at about 3 on the chatterbait, maybe 4. One big one. Half the fun is figuring out where they're at. All right, this will be pass number 3 down this shore. First one with the frog. Caught one off of Reed Point down that way. Coming back with the chatterbait. We got about 4 and one nice 18.5 incher. So we're gonna try white chatterbait on this pass. You know, it's hard to switch from something that was working, that black and blue thunder cricket. But let's see if we can get something going with this white chatterbait. Just running it right past the front edge of these reeds, just in case there's another fish cruising, looking for a breakfast. Last night I got back from my trip from Indiana, you know, about 10 hours worth of driving, and I tried to talk myself out of fishing today. So I remind myself about January and February in Minnesota, and how you sit there in January and February and you say, if only I could be out there fishing. So we're out fishing. Decent day so far, but another couple of big bass will make it a great day. Let's do a couple more with the frog and then move to some new waters with the chatterbait. I think the chatterbait's going to be the ticket today, possibly the jig also. There we go. Gosh, I love it when it comes right off the reeds. Good fish. Oh, strong fish. Oh, we'll just park it in the reeds here. Man, that fish pulled me into the reeds. Top of the reeds, let it plop down, and hold on, because they hit it pretty hard. All right, let's get out of here before we measure. Didn't have time to even pull the reverse. What do we got here? All right, that's a nice fish. $18.5. Great fish. So I've had trips where I come through with the frog right at sunup and it's just not productive. But then coming back a little bit later, this area just seems like it should be holding some fish. Second time I've hit a pretty good bass here right up against the reeds. So just remember what works and what didn't, but also remember you can't catch a fish if you're not out here. I think that's the main reason why I catch a lot of fish, is I take the time to get out here and I have the time to get out here. That fish just kind of proves my point about bass. I think the ones that are hungry, they're kind of cruising in here, right? And that fish came from quite a ways away when he heard that frog plop off of those reeds. Now if I would have just made a cast like this, I just feel like it's different for the fish. I get more fish when it's coming off of something, and that goes for the lake, it goes for the river. So if you can just kind of lob it up there, get it in the softer parts, and then let it plop. And that one I let it pause for just a second, and then the first couple of twitches, that fish just nailed it. So you want to aim for the top and not let it sink down there, and just kind of reel it through, see how it's coming through, and then plop. Wait a second, and then if there's anything around, they're more likely to bite after that plop in the water. I don't know if it has to do with their lateral line or what, but it just seems to work. There you go. Shared a secret with you. Let me know if you try it and if it works. There we go. We'll call that a dock fish. That's a nice one. All right, I hear about skipping docks, and that one, I skipped it right under there. I guess there's something to it. There we go, sitting in the shade under there. Guess we got about a 16-incher maybe. 16.5. All right, good fish, 16.5 inch. That was pretty cool. Made one more cast under there. Now it makes me wonder, is that the ticket? I think the shade is what the fish are looking for. And at the sun angle, it's not really under the dock right now. You just throw a cast right down the side of the dock here. Let's see if there's a bass looking for a late morning snack. There we go. See a slinger in her? Oh, maybe not, but we're doing it. All right. That's about where he was supposed to be. Right off the edge of that lily pad field. Another good guy here. Guessing 16? Did we get 16 with this guy? 16.25. Nice to get another fish in the boat. All right, let's see if we can get another dock fish. There we go. That is interesting, to say the least. Find the shade, find the fish. You know, it's a hot day when your cameras are overheating. So essentially the batteries in a GoPro get super hot. So I'm gonna have to rotate between batteries. They usually do pretty good as long as there's a little bit of a wind. And as you can see, there is no wind today. There we go. See a swinger in her? He's a swinger in her. Nice chunky swinger in her. Okay, back on the board. Another fish in the boat. Max scent with a Strike King tour grade 3/8 ounce tungsten jig. We'll slow it down a little bit here in the late morning. There we go. There we go. What do we got? Just love with the jig how you can feel your way through the real thick stuff and still have a the bait the fish probably want to eat. Is it possible that anything would be around these pads? Alright, did our knock-knock cast. Throw it up there, let it plop down. If there's something under there, it will be paid attention to. Just like that. Nice fish. All right. Well, that's why you try. Nothing biting. Taking our lesson we learned from going to the dock, and maybe they're looking for shade. And that guy was under that big old thing of lily pads. And I did what I did on purpose. I threw more towards this side, so now we got the rest of it to fish. But I lobbed it up, stopped it, plopped it down, and right towards the edge. Got a nice bass. All right, let's get a quick measure on this guy. Ooh. Get our board wet. He is right at 17 inches. We're gonna keep trying, but if that's our last bass, that is a nice fish. There we go. Look at how fat that guy is. Well, whether it's off the reed edge, in the lily pads, or under a dock, today the frog is kind of the star. Look at that frog. He's been beat up, but they're still biting him. All right, let's see if our theory works to where maybe there's some other fish there, and that's why we fish this little corner first. Right in the middle. Oh man. Those hook sets are violent. When they don't go quite right, the line gets a little askew. Oh my goodness. All the way back to the reel. Ah, you know, you feel hot, you feel tired, you feel hungry, and then you get a couple of fish biting and it's like, hey, it's not so hot out here. Did we get that big tangle out? We got it. All right. Now, second thing is that bass in there going, where did that frog go? I'm gonna move around to get a different angle on it. I think there's one more fish to be caught in there. You know what? There was one more fish to be caught. Wow. Don't forget about the late morning frog bite. Wow. All right. Nice fish. Whew. Sometimes you just have to kind of methodically work around a lily pad field. Get this wet here. Look at that, 19 inches. Ready to give up. Thought, you know what, I'll come in and see if there's anything. We learned our lesson by the dock that they're looking for shade. And if it's not a dock, what else has shade? A lily pad. All right. Usually the ends hold fish, and we've caught a fish on each end. We did have one hit in the back corner there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a better angle, and I'm gonna fish the back side and throw right to the middle. See if we can get one more out of there. I was wondering where the big fish went. It kind of seems like maybe they're just looking for some shade. And we're talking like 2.2 feet of water. Maybe they're just there kind of hanging out. But I don't know about you, if somebody offers me a ice cream cone or a piece of cake, I'm gonna eat it even in the middle of the day, even if I just had lunch. So let's give them another ice cream cone and see if we can get another one. Well, there you have it, everybody. What a day out on the water. Got here early, got a little bit of a bladed jig bite going with the thunder cricket, but just couldn't keep it going. Explored other parts of the lake, and as usual at this lake, things started to shut down. And that sun got high, and it was almost impossible to catch fish. Until I remembered something. So 2 things in this video. I learned 2 things. First of all, those people who talk about fishing docks, they might be onto something. I've never done that before, but I pulled up at a dock and I threw my frog under there. I got a fish. So later on, I found another dock. I threw it under there, and that was when it was getting kind of tough to fish. And lo and behold, I had a couple of fish hit. So I'm gonna file that in the old brain for the different lakes that I fish, and maybe, you know, those fish are looking for shade. Which was the second thing that I learned, was on this lake especially, if you have the right lily pads, you might be able to get a couple of big ones late in the day. On this lake, on the far side of the lake, there's 2 more lily pad fields just like that one. And next time it gets slow, I'm gonna try those lily pads with the frog. You know, that was a rod that I had kind of put away. You'll never know until you try. So I thought I'd throw a couple of casts into the lily pads, remembering that those docks and the shade were key. And it worked out today. A nice day of fishing. I was kind of measuring as I went along, so I'll put the total up on the screen somewhere so you can kind of see the best 5 fish. I like those big fish, but in my book, any day of fishing is a great day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Love these dragonflies.